Hey, Steve here. I want to spend a few minutes talking about gear transport, waterproof gear transport, waterproof gear storage. These, what you see here, what we typically call dry bags. Dry bags are used for paddling trips, used for biking excursions, used for rafting trips, used for hikes where you've got gear that you just need to protect from the weather. These are all, in fact, dry bags, meaning they are waterproof. You need to follow the instructions that make them waterproof, but when you do, these bags will serve you well. Obviously, they come in very different styles. We've got see-through bags that are pretty much clear. We've got color-coded see-through bags, and then we've got bags that are not see-through. They come in many different colors. Why do we care about the colors? Why do we have a blue see-through and a clear see-through, and this comes in a red see-through as well? Well, a lot of people like to color code their gear. So maybe a red gear bag is their emergency stuff, which could be first aid or medications, or it could just be emergency stuff like rain gear. It's, rain gear is an emergency. It's all of a sudden it rains. I know I grab my red bag, or maybe, the blue bag is your rain gear because blue makes you think of water, or the blue bag is your paddling stuff. You get the idea. The different colors really allow you to organize your gear. And additionally to organizing by using the large bags, you can also organize within those bags. And these are called Ditty sacks. And you can see it's almost see-through, and it's just a mesh bag. And this particular set is a set of a set of three. And there's three different sizes. And so when you have a big gear bag like this, you might want to throw all your gear inside it, or you might want to organize some of your stuff within your dry bag in these mesh Ditty bags. Obviously, these aren't waterproof, they're mesh, so they're pretty much intended to go inside some other storage. But there are options. These guys, again in three different colors, are waterproof Ditty sacks. And these guys, when used properly, are just as waterproof as any of the big ones, so you can still get your gear organization and the waterproofness at the same time. I tend to use bags for things that I don't need to get in and out of multiple times during the day, things that are going to be stored away during the day, stored away for the evening. I get in once or twice a day, maybe at night to get my clothes out for the evening, maybe the next morning to get my clothes ready for the day. If I'm going to be getting in and out of it a lot, the closure system on these, while it's not difficult, can be a little bit cumbersome. So things like cameras or cell phones tend not to, I tend not to use bags for those. I tend to use dry boxes for those. But just real quick to show you how these work, you can see that there's these black stripes on this particular bag from Seal Line. And what I do is I get all my gear in there and I squeeze the air out. I don't want any air inside these bags once I have my gear in there, because if there's air in there, that means that there's voids for water to get into. And should you have any kind of small leakage or failure, you're inviting the water in by having air. So you get your gear in there, you get the air out, and then this bag I fold my black seam on top of the black seam, then I fold it over 2 more times, and I clip it. I now have a watertight seal. I also have a carry handle if I need it. I have a D-ring on here that I can carabiner this to the side of my raft, the side of my boat, my backpack, whatever I need to. But now I'm watertight. And obviously I'll have air inside here for demonstration reasons, but like I said, make sure you squeeze the air out of the bags. Sizes. This is a 5-liter bag. I would call it a small bag. This from NRS, they call this their medium bag, and it's 22 liters. So it's more than 4 times the volume or capacity of the small bag. Then I go to this large bag from NRS, which is 38 liters. You can see, I mean, I can probably get an entire week's worth of clothing inside that bag. But keep in mind, if you're using a bag that large, you need to be able to store a bag that large. So where's that bag going to go? If you're in a kayak, does it fit in your bow hatch or your stern hatch? When it's full of gear, how are you going to get in and out of there? Sometimes multiple small bags are a lot easier to accommodate and use than one large bag. Then this seal line, here's 55 liters. 2 weeks worth of gear, 2 people's gear for a week-long trip. Test these things out or pile up the gear you want and see what it looks like, and see what's going to fit inside what bags. The small bag, I usually carry 3 or 4 of these with me. Then a medium bag is typically my clothing bag, and I can put almost a week's worth of camping clothes in here, and then maybe have a separate bag for my rain gear. If I'm going on a rafting trip or a really long boating trip, I'm going with something like the Bill's bag. We're at 107 liters here. Almost half my body fits inside this bag when it's opened up. One of the cool features about this bag, though, is it also can be your backpack. You take this bag with a bunch of Ditty sacks or some smaller bags in it, you can really be organized, and you're waterproof. And if you're using waterproof bags inside it, you're just adding a little bit of redundancy to that, and that's great. If you're doing a rafting trip where your campsites are far from the boat, really convenient and easy to carry. Another nice feature about this bag is it has compression. So even if I don't have a lot of gear in there, I can still compact this down and squeeze the air out of it. It compresses on the top as well down the sides. Super durable. I've used this on half a dozen rafting trips, and I absolutely love the bag. But remember, bag this big, you need to find a place to store it. It needs to be able to fit in whatever luggage area you have designed or set aside on your boat. So there are probably hundreds of iterations on how you can pack your gear and what bags you can put inside other bags and how you really want to do it. I encourage you to practice, and lay some of your gear out and see what the piles look like. We have dimensions available for all this kind of stuff, so get a good idea of what you're looking for. If you have any questions, we're always here to help. Send an email to customer@ack.com. We'll respond to you really quickly, and we can give you some better ideas, or we can help direct you. We're also always happy to answer your phone calls, so give us a call, shoot us an email, and just make sure your gear's protected when you're out there paddling or you're out on the trail. And just remember, we're here to help. Hope you have a great dry time out there on the trails and on the water. Thanks a lot.